It's time for Inside Hart County Football with Coach Rance Gillespie. Recorded in Studio 604B in the Hart College and Career Academy. Here's your host, Doc Ayers.
Welcome to Inside Hart County Football. Coach, been a couple of weeks.
Yes, it has. Had a week that we didn't get to shoot the show there.
Yeah, I think technical difficulties.
Yeah.
I think maybe the squirrel died. Coach, 2 weeks, and I'm going to use this term, so what I can think of that fits it. 2 frustrating weeks.
Yes and no. I mean, you go at something as hard as we do, and you put everything that you got into trying to be successful. And it's like any other endeavor in life. I mean, you go all in, and I feel like our football team has. I feel like our coaching staff has, the Jefferson game was a really well played game on both sides. We had the 3 turnovers, let the ball out a couple of times on 3rd down, and didn't play well on our kickoff coverage team, which had been really good all year, and it was proved to be the difference in the game. And then you go down to Monroe the following week, and you just can't find a way to match the intensity that you've played at all year, and you got a couple of calls that certainly don't go your way, you just find a way to lose that one almost, and it was so you almost go into depression, and you've got to find a way to get well,
fight through it,
and get back. But it's heartbreaking. It really is, but that's one of the great things about this game is even with the adversity and all that stuff, you have to find a way to right the ship, and that's a lot like life. Life's not ever going to go exactly the way we want it to, and you have to find a way to battle through hard times, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Watch practice yesterday. The spirit and passion is still high.
We're still the same football team. We like I said, we were really close against what I think is probably the best team in the region in Jefferson, and a team that will have a chance to make some noise in AAA, and then we don't go play good against Monroe, and you can point at a dozen different things, and it really doesn't matter because we're judged on our success and failure, and that's a bottom line business, and we didn't get it done.
No. All right, we're gonna try to get caught up and look at both games tonight. So the first one we're gonna look at is the Jefferson game from 2 weeks ago. Large crowd and really boisterous crowd from both sides.
It was a great atmosphere, and rightfully so. You had that time a 5-10 matchup, and 2 good football teams going at it.
Clark, the quarterback, played extremely well for them.
Yeah, and they've got some big linemen that are physical and able to move some people around. But I thought for the most part, we were able to shut down the dive, which we had struggled with last year. We were able to contain the quarterback for the most part most of the night, and then some of the perimeter stuff got away from us a little bit. I thought Jai Moore really played one of his better games at linebacker,
big ball game,
and showed up a lot. Get a turnover here, get the ball on our own 1. And are able to move the ball out, and you just watch close. You see a lot of our kids really playing hard, really getting after people.
Malachi gets all the credit for the great year he's having, but it's those, as Keith Jackson says, them big uglies up front and the wide receivers that help make it possible.
Yeah, and I think the offensive line is executing things so much better this year than we have in the past, and really gives us a chance to be successful with our run game, and certainly we do have some talented guys there. So kind of get into a situation where we took a shot on 1st down, and we wanted to once the ball approached midfield. In the next play, run an RPO, they get a big hand up in there and knock the thing down, and we end up not converting that. Good return here out of Monte. He shows great balance and effort, and it's matched up pretty good on the back end.
Kane had a big ball game.
Yeah, I thought Kane played really well, did some good things for us in both the run game and the pass game, and good block there out of Caden on the backside backer to get that thing through. Good cut out of Malachi, and we continue to be a solid outside zone team. Some teams are starting to do some things to kind of slow that down, and we've started to throw the ball a little bit more and go to a couple of our other runs, and that's to be expected this time of year.
Yeah. Good
Again,
job.
we did not play well on our kickoff coverage team. We had a couple of gaps in there that Jefferson was able to get to, and we just gave them the ball in really good field position too many times.
And you don't really want to give that kind of offense midfield.
No, and like I said, they get the ball out on us on third down. Good play here.
Yeah.
Okay, little naked to Preston, really nice route, and Luke does a good job making a funny body throw. That's one of the things that he's been really effective with. If you watch him, he's able to change his platform and throw from different angles with his arm. And in today's game, people are going to get hands up, people are going to get pressure on you, and you've got to be able to do that. To stand back there and throw from the same platform all the time really is not realistic and doesn't happen. So you want a guy that can change his arm angle and do those different things.
Good job fitting it there.
Quinn there fitting he defeated the block, got off the block, and got the pitch, and big play by him. It's this is a big drive for us.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to the half here, and kind of take a couple of shots and able to move the ball down the field. And thought Luke did a really nice job of working through his progression, finding the open guy, and our wideouts did a good job with run after catch, and we got some protection for him. Big play here by Kobe, and get kind of an explosive play, and trying to get the clock stopped.
Big field
goal. Gives us an opportunity for a field goal, make it a 4-point game going into half.
Get a little squib kick and run the clock. I thought at the half, the ball game was setting right there for us.
No doubt, and this is a big drive, and we talked about it at halftime, and we got the ball in decent field position, come out and turn the ball over on the first snap, and it was a big turnover right there. And again, we put them in really good field position. You can't do that with a good football team. Close to a big play there, and just didn't quite come away with it.
Cool. Respond
nice
good.
Catch out of Kane.
Yeah.
Good decision. They actually converted that route against a different coverage, and that's kind of where we're too. We've got some guys that their football IQ has certainly improved over the last couple of years as they play more and more, and we're able to do more. And a lot of things that you see are the checks that they're doing on their own, and that we don't have to necessarily call. That they understand a lot of the things that they're getting, and get us in the right play.
Good play there by Kamen.
And again, I thought our defensive front did a good job, holding up against the dive, and had a stop here, and again, an opportunity for us to get back in the football game. And
Luke did a great job in this game on that play.
Yeah, we got it. Well, there's two different plays because this is a different one, and but him being able to run the ball just enough, really opens some things up for us. Great catch there out of Preston. Put the ball inside the 5, and again, Luke being able to run, opens up a lot of opportunities for us. I think he had around 80 yards rushing in the Jefferson game. But again, poor coverage, and we give them the ball right at the 50, and that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. It's amazing how his knee was not down on that play.
Yeah, I'm going to be very politically correct. That little, I've heard it called falla, is tough to cover.
Yeah, he's just a tough runner.
Yeah.
And real physical kid that does a good job. Again, the threat of Luke being able to run the ball really kind of opens some of those things up. And
big throw there.
yeah, nice. Another nice play out of Kobe. Came away with a couple of really big plays for us. Good job
getting north of the side.
Getting the first for us. Ended up being in a good bit of empty. We felt like it actually helped us with our protection and kind of limited some of the looks that we were going to get. And
beautiful throw.
Play right here, and kind of had that thing. When you play a good football team and you know that they're going to study you, okay, you can kind of go back to stuff that you've done in previous games and build off of those things. And Jefferson is certainly that. Their coaches are going to spend a lot of time studying film and do those things. So that was actually a play off a play that we had ran in Madison. When you play some lesser coached football teams, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to build off of plays that you've done in the past.
How he didn't fumble.
Yeah, it's a big play there, and get a big stop, give us an opportunity late in the game to go win it, and that's what we're looking for. Kind of get this thing started, okay, with a little flat to Malachi, and kind of what you always want to do on a 2-minute drive is just kind of get the party started. And certainly did that. Came away with a good throw there to Kane, and you can start kind of feeling a little momentum building, and we're kind of getting this thing going. And big play here. We had Preston open. He gets flushed, okay, and end up on a 4th and short, and we had a call there for Malachi in the flat and didn't quite get it. They jumped it, and so went ahead and had Kane one-on-one in the back end, and kid made a good play on the ball.
Coach, it was a beautiful night except for the scoreboard. I mean, you watch our guys walk off the field. You could tell they left it all along.
No doubt.
All along the field.
No doubt. And like I said, our kids went into that game believing that we could get it done. I still would love to have the opportunity to play them again. That takes zero away from Jefferson. I have the utmost respect for them. I think they're a really good football team, but I think we're a good football team too. And
exactly.
We feel like we're at that point, and good football game, great atmosphere. We appreciate the fans and the atmosphere that was created, and these kids deserve it.
They absolutely do.
Just load up and do a little bit better next time.
Tee it up and play again. And talking about playing again, when we come back, we'll look at this past week, Hart and Monroe area. You're watching Inside Hart County Football.
Hart County High School is about academics, sports and training, bulldog chow, reading, teamwork, brilliant minds, preparing for the future. Hart County High School is the school made for us.
The Hart County College and Career Academy provides new and improved learning opportunities to students in our community. With new technology and equipment in every classroom, students have the resources to ensure a better education. We guarantee that the Hart County College and Career Academy will further prepare students for their future and their careers. Hart County College and Career Academy, preparing students for their future.
Welcome back. We looked at Hart and Jefferson, and then this past Friday night went over to Monroe to play the defending region champions in Monroe area. Wild ball game.
Yeah, it's just, and I told our kids, after the game, we were unable to match the intensity, the focus, the feel, the emotional set that you have to be at in order to play your best football. And that's probably the biggest challenge of any type of athletics is being at that point for every contest. And we certainly weren't, and it showed. We were flat. We did not come out and play well, and we just not our best ball game.
Okay. We'll look at the film of that one. Kick off to Monroe, and Monroe has done a great job recovering from the graduation of 20-something seniors last year, and 13 is a good-looking high school quarterback.
Yeah, the ball comes off his hand pretty good, and he does some pretty decent things. And they've got athletes, and they've got some length in some places. Certainly they're not the same team that they were last year. Kind of a little unique deal that they did with their punt. Okay, they actually had two punters that lined up side by side. One was right-footed, one was left-footed, and they would snap to the right-footed punter and punt it to the right, snap it to the left-footed punter and punt it to the left, which the difficulty that happens on that is you end up having to cover 53 1/3 yards, okay, because you don't know which one they're going to snap it to, and it's a little unique. Come out on the first drive.
Good job there up front.
We're able to run the ball and end up having a backside run through on that play, and kind of put us in a long yardage situation. End up in 2nd and 9. We end up trying to throw an RPO. We miss it for maybe the first time all year, and then they come away with a sack on the next play, and we end up having to punt them deep, and they get into a rhythm offensively where he makes some really nice throws, and they go on a pretty big drive. But again, it just felt like we were lethargic throughout the night. Yeah. And we missed more tackles than we have. We've got to, and part of it is what they're doing offensively. They put the ball in space, and that's the challenge of what they do is being able to tackle in space, and he had some pretty good hips and some pretty good moves. So.
Jump up front and get a chop block there.
Yeah. Which that ball I think was on the 2 and he wound up on the 5, so it was a 3-yard penalty.
Get penetration up here and get the block.
That was a great play out of Monte. I thought Monte played a good football game in special teams and defensively, and did a really good job for us. This is a hold on Gabe where he just buries the guy. I don't get it. I really don't. But it is what it is. Good call. Trying to get a little bit of it back and give ourselves in a situation where we can convert. And end up turning the ball over to them. And come away with a stop. And I thought, at times we played well enough defensively Offensively, I did not think that it was, one of our better games. But every time we, got in a situation like that, okay, where we would rip something off and we were starting to get into a rhythm, okay.
Here come a flag.
Yeah, a hold, a personal foul, just something random.
Wedge kickoff. Do a great job getting it back to the 30.
Get the ball out in space on him here, and good block here out of Malachi.
Yep.
Again, he gets a lot of credit for his runs, but he's an all-around football guy, and he's willing to do a lot of the dirty work and is taking pride in, in his pass protections, in his blocking, and certainly as a recruiter, that's going to be one of the first things that you look at is, is he just a back or is he a complete guy?
Mm-hmm. And the thing that I've noticed about him is he is a lot stronger than his size would show.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to get bigger and stronger and all of those things. So.
We've talked so much about playing option teams like Jefferson and Madison, about the way they make you play one-on-one battles. This team's the same way, the way they space the field.
Yeah, and it's similar but totally different. In the option, you're worried about a defensive end matched up on a fullback one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And some of this, you're worried about a corner matched up on a wideout one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is similar in the fact that, that everybody's looking for the one-on-one matchup. But
good job on the tunnel screen.
It's a different matchup. So spotted us a little bit short there.
Uh-huh.
And good play. If you go back and you watch that and you watch Seth Elrod fit it on the outside, the execution of our tunnels and those things continue to get better and better and better. So, and we had a play right there before half where we got tackled, and the guy behind the guy that got tackled ends up picking the pass off. So
this was almost a game flipper for me.
It was a big play in the game period. It really gave us that little burst that we were looking for to get us excited and get us going. And unfortunately, Kobe gets hurt right here. The leg just gave, and ended up breaking his leg on that play. And we're gonna
miss him.
We're gonna lose him for the rest of the year, and we are going to miss him.
Good job working for extra yardage there.
Felt like we get the get the run game going with the slants and those things, and we did, and really, if you go back and you look at it, okay, there's very few times where we were stuffed, offensively, and that's just one of the frustrating things about it is you line up and you're able to physically move a team and run the ball for 7 or 8 yards, and you're not allowed to because of the situations that you get in. It becomes very, very frustrating.
Good job on the cutback there.
Great cut and good touchdown.
Makes it 14-7, and we're right back in the ballgame. Okay.
Ball bounced on us a little bit there. Good feel out of Caleb, and Caleb's a dependable guy that you know what you're going to get every down out of him. And he's playing a lot of football for us.
Good
Fit
job.
on the counter, and good job holding the backside down as well on the read part. And they end up jumping on this play, and not sure that they were not going to take the delay anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Good job out of their punt team, and again, that was one of the things. It just becomes hard to defend and set a return because you're not sure where that ball's going to go. Another holding call after a 6-yard gain, and it was on a guy that was just giving great effort, and I think the rule should probably be you're not allowed to take somebody to the ground. Good play here. We needed a big play. We needed a kind of shot play. Get the ball off the goal line. We certainly didn't want to punt from our own end zone again. And then on the very next play, we fumble. And there's no excuses for those things. And that's kind of the story of the night.
Yeah.
It was a frustrating night all the way around. We did not play to the level that we have come to expect to play, and certainly. There were other
issues,
factors that factored into it as well.
The ball back out to the 30.
And this is just still a football game. Okay, we get called for offsides right here.
How?
It's my fault, okay? Because when you're in that situation, you need to just leave people still, all right? And understand that some people don't get it. Good play out of Quinn there on the vertical. Good match out of him.
Job up front.
Get a break on a bad snap and do a good job, fitting it, and we end up with a big stop here.
Mm-hmm.
Thought our kickoff return team played well, and now you're looking at us being in some of those situations where we're starting with really good field position. Now we're kind of in a situation where we need to kind of abandon the run a little bit and score a little bit quicker, get the ball in the air, try to stop the clock, manage our time as best we can, and we get a couple of big plays here out of Malachi Kelly. A nice throw there out of Luke on a little dig route, and Malachi's able to stay up. And I thought Malachi played really
well.
hard and made some plays for us. And gets the ball down inside the 10, and I think this is an indication of what Paul Davis is capable of. Goes up. And,
great job blocking the guy out.
And he's just in the 9th grade, going to be really, really talented. Or he is really, really talented and going to be a really good player. Try the onside kick, ended up trying it twice. They did a good job on this one. 14 gets in there, gets on the ball, and they recover it there. So we need another stop and give us a chance to go win it. A critical point in the game, where we got to come away with a stop to give us an opportunity. And there were a point here where there was some time that ran off, but end up getting the ball back and got a chance. And you know what? Our kids are continuing to play hard. It's not like they've said this is just not our night, okay? And you got some kids that are playing through some things, some some bangs and some bruises. Certainly that's a part of it. Our kids are continuing to give great effort on a tough night. It's a great catch right here out of Malachi. Puts the ball down inside the 5, and try to kind of sneak it in on a little sprint out pass, and then shove it in with the back on inside the 1. Get an opportunity for a second onside. Okay, number 1 comes up, flips it up with his hand. Okay, but we're not awarded the ball there.
And Monroe runs the clock out. Puts us to 5-2, and we got 3 games left. Tomorrow night is senior night. You've talked about this group of seniors and the leadership, and great opportunity for this community to come out and say thank you to these young men.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of things in what you just said. Number 1, we're 5-2, 3 games left. Okay, it's a lot of football left to play. All right, and there's some really good football teams left on our schedule, and so we've got to recover. We don't have a choice. We've got to man up, and we've got to load back up. And what a great lesson for a young man. Okay, because life's going to hit you in the mouth, and you've got to get up off the mat, and you've got to go back to work, and that's kind of where we're at, and we will do that. And so there's still a chance for us to host a home playoff game and be a 2 seed, and we still control most of that with the way that we play in these last 3 ball games. So that's one thing. Number 2, you talked about our seniors, and this senior class is really, really special because they're the ones that had to go through the grind of not doing so well, of a 3-8, of a 4-8, 4-7, so those, and then to kind of see the promised land, and then to go through the adversity of the last 2 weeks and the leadership that they've provided, and then Monday of this week to load up and go back to work again. Those are the kind of young men that are going to be successful, that this community should be very proud that they have in their community, and they deserve a lot of support tomorrow night.
Tell us about East Jackson.
They're an improving football team. They're better than they were last year. They've got an athletic quarterback. They're kind of limited what they're doing offensively, and so they're doing it better. They're a heavy counter, inside zone with some RPO team, and then defensively, they're very similar to what they've been in the past, and kind of a multiple 50 that will bring a couple of different pressures and move the front a little bit.
Okay. Need a big crowd tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
And we'll be talking about East Jackson next week, saying thank you to a group of seniors and getting ready for Franklin.
That's it.
For Coach Gillespie, this is Doc Harris saying thank you, good night, and we'll see you next week on Inside Hart County Football.